All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 11 of Sea Otter Town Hall, the podcast. Back with me again is very funny New York City comedian and my good friend, Michael Kerrigan.
Howdy.
Welcome to the pod. I don't know.
I've never said howdy in my life, and I immediately regretted saying it.
I know. Dude, I mean, for everybody who's listening, it's second week in a row. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Again, still sick. Weird. Still sick. A whole week later. It's so strange. I don't know. I'm still congested.
Gotta get your life right, man.
I know. I don't know.
You ever heard of vitamin C?
Still sitting on the couch, feeling like a king, being fed grapes. You know what? Couches are weird because when you're not super skinny, you look great. But like
I hate couches.
I feel like I'm like I always feel like I'm a child sitting on a giant sofa, and I'm like just like
sink into them. My legs are
uncomfortable.
sticking up.
When I have to be on, it's hard to be. I don't like to be comfortable when I have to be like on. So I feel like, yeah, again, laziness list to that. But back into the episode. Episode 11. Great to have you here. We're going to talk some fun stuff this week, hopefully. And yeah, thanks for joining us. So here we are. You're back doing comedy, right?
Full time.
Love it.
10:30. So this weekend I'm doing at least five shows a night.
Damn. I'm back. I'm back in too. Dude, I've been doing I don't want to talk shit about the Long Island comedy scene. A lot of cool guys. I will say that. So not talking shit, but like so living out on Long Island before I get back into the city, I was like, let me just jump in and do I'll get into like some like just some mics that I can, get the rust off, get back in. Dude, I mean, people shit on the mics in the city in general. They're, open mic sucks. Out of all the mics I've been to, the New York City open mics are very good.
Really?
I mean, QED has a great open mic where it's like, you know what it is? It's structure. It's like we come in. If you're late, you're not getting on stage. None of this like showing up an hour after the mic started and you still get time. Like, if that's what it is. It's like in an hour, everybody does 3 minutes. Dude, I hate when people show up at an open mic and they're like, they get on stage and they're like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. It's like, well, then get off stage.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
why'd you come here?
Dude, why am I watching you just rant about the ceiling?
The worst is worse than I don't know is when they poll the crowd. Hey, what do you guys want me to talk about?
Ugh, dude.
Like, we don't want you to talk. We want you to get off so I can get on.
Yeah, get out of here,
yeah.
Please. I hate that shit. Yeah, dude, so many bad shows. I've done a couple. Have you done any? Do you have a worst show experience?
Dude, no, but I've done so many bad shows. I feel like I don't know if I did one. I'm sure I did do one good show before I left Boston, but like I can't remember it. They were all. It was like
I mean, when you left, I feel like it was like there was only one good place and everything else was not good. There wasn't a lot of stage time, not like there is now or when I was there.
Like I think when I did Nick's Comedy Stop, I hung out like almost every weekend. I didn't get up every weekend, but I got up a lot.
Yeah.
Like dude, I think there might have been one or two good. And good was just like not the worst time of your life shows.
Yeah.
You know, because like you have the beginning, you're like, oh, it sucked, and then it got good. It didn't. It was like that sucked. Then I'd get like booked on some like what's like Saugus area. What do you call that? North Shore.
Like,
I get like a North Shore like event,
dude,
with like Patty Punch and her boyfriend Danny Gill.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, and it would be you'd get there and it'd be in a back room, be a nightmare. You know, someone tricked a couple friends in coming.
Dude, nothing's worse than when you show up for a show and they're like, in a restaurant and they make an announcement like, hey, comedy's starting, and you hear groans. They're like, what the? It's a surprise.
And you look at the lineup and you're like, we're going to ruin these people's night. Like, dude. Definitely ruin their night.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to hear stuff they never wanted to hear.
Yeah, I did a show, just my first like real show. So I've been doing like the mics, trying to get the rust off, and I did a show on Long Island in like right around here, and it was a really good show. But it's so funny because that exactly happened, dude. We come in and literally a lot of people. It was full. A lot of people are there for the show, but in the back corner, there's literally a table of just 12 women that are there celebrating a birthday.
Nothing worse.
as soon as the host gets on stage, like, I don't think they were talking at all. As soon as the host gets on stage, it's like all you could hear was them talking in the back.
Oh, no.
Dude, the headliner gets on. Like, this is like an hour into the show. Like, they've been talking on and off. Like, they would quiet down certain times. They didn't bother me. They didn't bother, like, a couple of the other comics. But, dude, literally the host is on stage. 10 minutes into, he's doing like 20, 30 minutes. Like, I would say 5-10 minutes into a set. I'm sitting in the back. Dude, I see them walk out of the kitchen with a birthday cake that's got a bunch of candles in it. And I go to the comic, I go, next to me, and I go, dude, they're about to sing Happy Birthday in the middle of this set. I was like, are you kidding me? So the candles are lit. They bring it over. Dude, the comic, I will say, he's a New York comic. You probably know him. But, dude, literally he handled it so perfectly. Because I'm watching. I'm dying. I'm like, holy shit, this is the funniest thing that's ever happened. They walk over. They give the cake. And they start, like, quietly. They're like, happy birthday to you. Dude, the comic literally goes, I mean, let's get this over. Let's just sing Happy Birthday. So the whole restaurant sings Happy Birthday. It was wild. And then he just like goes back into his comedy.
Yeah, dude, I'm not a big birthday guy. I find it very pompous.
Oh, I love a birthday.
It's all about you. You know, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, you know, people shit on birthdays. It's like once you get a certain age, but I do love a good birthday celebration.
Even as a kid, I didn't like them.
Oh man, I mean my ego. I'm very narcissistic. I love a birthday.
I can see that. You're not shy either. Like you wouldn't hide it. You'd have like a shirt that says it's my birthday.
You know what I would do when I was like in Boston once I was like older, and it was like because college birthdays are big, they're super fun. Like, you know, you're living with your friends, so and then when you're a kid too. But like after you once you're in the working world, I don't want to impose on people to be like, hey, I'm having this thing, you gotta come. But like what I would do these like a couple years in a row, I would do a bar crawl. So I'd be like, hey, I would tell all like these people, I'd make like a list, and I would text people and be like, hey, it's my birthday this weekend. I'm doing, you know, this bar crawl. We're going to these 3 bars. We're going to be there at these times. So it gives people an opportunity if they can come for like during the day, if they can come at night. It's like a long thing. You don't have to come to like a specific house from like, you know, 8 to 10. You got to be there the whole time. So I would send it and be like, hey, like I'm doing this bar crawl. I'd love to, like, no pressure, but like this is the schedule. If you can stop by, I'd love to see you. So then it takes the pressure off people. You don't have to come. If you can only come for, you know, an hour, that's great. But that's what I found. It's like people would come for like, some people would come for the entire time. Some people would come for an hour. It was great. Some people would come during the day. Some people would come real late at night. I loved it. It was like one of my favorite things to do. Super narcissistic, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went on a bar crawl.
God, I mean,
I was kicked out of one bar, and they would like let me in another one. They'd be like, they'd give them like they're like, we're gonna give you a break. Don't screw this up. And whenever that happened, within 30 seconds, like one time I sat down. I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I'm good. They're like, just we're gonna let you in, but you know, dude. And I ordered like 3 drinks, slammed them. Barfed all over the day. They're just dragging you out.
Dude, I love your version of a bar crawl is usually bar crawls are scheduled, but yours is like, well, I mean, a bar crawl, I would just get kicked out of one bar and I would go to the next one. And then I would just go to the next bar once I got kicked out.
I got kicked out. I don't know if I told you this already. I got kicked out of dude, this was early.
Yeah.
Early in the day. Like 5:30. TGA Fridays. You know, people aren't even drinking yet.
You're famously sober now.
Yeah. I don't drink. I haven't drank never when I did comedy. I quit drinking. That's how I got into comedy.
One vice into another.
Yeah.
Some would say that comedy was maybe a worse choice.
Not for me. But you know, when it's not even drinking time yet, I think the Red Sox were on, but people were just having their meals, and I roll into TGA Fridays, wrecked, trashed.
What was it, like noon?
No, it wasn't that. It was like 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, that's drinking time.
Yeah, but not this. Like I was on like 4 in the morning level, and I go up. They like hesitantly give me my drinks. I take it. Put my head back, and then I fall directly into like the not the living room, but like where everyone's eating dinner.
Yeah.
And I knock one table over, and you know when you're trying to like not fall, just keep knocking tables over.
Yeah.
And someone like comes like, get the hell out of here. It's so embarrassing because like there's like families there and they're looking, You look like a monster.
Dude, it's one of those things when like a parent will lean over to their kid and being
Yeah.
like, "Do you see that?
You've horrified a family.
That's why you don't drink." And
Yeah.
then the kid's like,
It was a good warning because like there was nothing cool about it. There was no like grace, just pure.
yeah, you're not John Hamm from Mad Men. You're literally a problem."
Yeah, you feel so bad. And I think my friends may have stayed in that TJ Fridays and I just was in the car. You know, I'm in car duty, just blacked out.
just sleeping in the back seat.
When you're blacked out before the sun goes down, it's a bad feeling.
Oh yeah.
Day drinking, I wasn't a big day drinker. I did it, but like I couldn't I add the sun to my pill, and the fact that my drinking choices were I never drank on pace. Now
What
that
was
I
your
look back.
drink of choice?
I would drink cheap beer until I got loose,
Yeah.
and then I would be like Mr. like whatever people whatever I'd be doing
Shots.
Red Bull and vodkas,
Oof.
Long Island iced teas. When I got into those, that was game over.
Oh my dude, a Long Island iced tea is so dangerous.
I would drink them because someone got me into them actually they brought me to brunch. I'd never done brunch. We had a Bloody Mary or two.
Yeah.
And then I proceeded, I don't know how many, someone ordered a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
And dude, I just pounded it. And then I pounded like 4 more. Dude, I blacked out at brunch. Like I lost all my friends. I don't know what happened.
Dude,
I was
Long
just in the
Island-
city, confused. When you're that drunk, you're talking to homeless people and you're scaring the homeless people. They're like, this kid's messed up. Not making any sense.
The homeless people are asking the cops to be like, "Hey, can you get this guy out of my home?"
Yeah, I was
Can
doing
you get this guy outta here?
whippets.
Jesus.
Daytime
Really?
whippets, not good. Yeah, you go into 7-Eleven, buy a couple, like 3 cans of whipped cream. Just inhaling nitrous on the side of the street. When you lose your friends, like in your home, I wasn't in my hometown, but I was downtown Boston. It's just such a mess. That feeling of being lost too,
Oh,
you're just
boy.
like
How old are you in this scenario?
too old to be doing that. Probably like 23, 22, 23.
Okay, all right. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I
But
mean,
it
if
was-
you told me it was like 30, I'd be like, "All right."
Yeah, that's not good. But yeah, I would have no respect. I would slam drinks.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big guy.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm like, dude, no wonder I was like that.
Oh, dude. Our Long Island iced tea has literally 4 shots.
Yeah, I drink
It's
like
like
4 or
4
5
drinks.
real quick, like immediately.
Jeez, dude.
No, like class,
No
just
pace.
slamming them. Yeah, just be ridiculous.
Oh man, that's so funny. So that's when you got sober. You started doing comedy.
Not right away, but after I quit drinking, because like I'd always be doing, like not shows, but I'd be putting on ridiculous antics when I'd be drunk.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a time period in between the drunk before it got into the blackout where it would be hilarious,
Yeah, yeah.
making sense, great, but then it would creep into the blackout. Then you're just a mess, and you're like grabbing people. You're not making any sense.
People are like, "Oh boy, Mike's at the point where he's just talking nonsense."
I'm sure it was entertaining. And you
Oh,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
realized what it really is for your friends is it takes any heat off them.
Oh yeah,
Like they can get away with whatever.
yeah.
Because you're the drunk clown.
If you're the drunkest person at the party,
Yeah.
it's like being the fat. Like you don't need to be the fastest person. You just don't have you don't have to be the slowest.
Yeah. And when I quit, I think it put pressure on a lot of them. They're like, they're like,
we
hey,
gotta get sober.
this is gonna highlight my problem.
That's so funny. Holy shit. Yeah, that's like famously when it's like outrunning a bear or outrunning a bear. You don't got to be the fastest. You just can't be the slowest. You just got to be faster
I don't
than
think
the
people
slowest
outrun
guy.
bears. I think you got that wrong.
No, you don't think if 5 people are in like a campsite,
Oh, like you can escape, but
they're
you're not
all-
gonna like.
but they all run.
Oh yeah.
4 of them are going to get away. You don't got to be the fastest guy. You just can't be the slowest.
Oh, okay. Now
Bear's going to get the last one.
Yeah, he's
So
gonna
when
get
you're the drunkest person at a party, the second drunkest is, dude, you know what? I don't have many drunk stories from recent years, but dude, in college, I remember one time we were playing beer pong, and you know what? I feel like in college it was it wasn't even like, oh, I was so drunk I did this. It was more of like I was drinking and my friends encouraged me to do something stupid.
Okay.
I remember one time I peed in a mop bucket because we were playing beer pong at this house in a different. We were at another college. We were guests at this frat party that one of my friends was friends with one of the guys, and he invited our whole group of friends to like this costume party there. So we all go. It was a great party. We're playing beer pong, and I didn't want to leave the table, so I literally just like there was a mop bucket next to me, and I peed in the mop bucket. I mean,
It's gross.
I had no regrets about it.
No, that's not even that bad.
No. I did though. I moved. You know what's funny? Those like liquor drinks really catch up to you, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I moved away like a couple years ago. I moved away for a brief period of time, like away from beer. And I started drinking like vodka, tequila sodas, because I was like, oh, the calories. It keeps you up. It keeps you like energized, dude. I started getting so hungover. I was like, why am I getting like? I'm like waking up. I feel like shit. And it's because you're drinking tequila soda like it's a Bud Light. It's too much.
Yeah, I should have never. Well, I should have never drank, but I'm glad I did because it would have happened. But like hard out, you just throw some hard alcohol in the mix. It was game over.
Dangerous.
Absolutely, I was You know, I'm pretty not reckless sober, but something about like when you drank, it just brings out that recklessness. Like you think you can do things that you've never done. I remember one time we were jumping off a bridge. It's like in a river.
Yeah,
it's pretty high up. It's like 20 feet, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to do 2 flips and a dive. Like, I've never done that. And I did 2 flips into a belly flop, and I couldn't breathe. It knocked
the wind out of you.
Knocked the wind out of me, and I was drowning. You know, I could barely get, and dude, all I could hear when I would get near to the surface was, my friends laughing. And, like, they kept laughing, and, dude, they didn't help me. I, like, gimped my way onto land. It took me, like, 20 minutes. I'm like, dude, you guys never helped me. They're still laughing. I'm like, dude, what? Then I was like, these are bad people.
These are bad.
Like, if I drowned, they would have been like, yeah, I mean, he flipped. It's like, we could, you know, it's like, didn't cross their minds to help.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, these are bad people.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did that. We jumped. I remember we were at, like, when I was in college, I was working at the beach over the summer, and we had a beach party. And, it was like, dude, I would never jump off a roof into a pool.
Yeah, of course.
Terrified. But, like, legit, we went to this house, and we were, like, running along the roof line, launching over, like, the concrete. I did it like 7 times into the pool. It was so fun.
It is
but,
fun.
I would never do that.
You ever see the ones where like they haven't done it, like it's a misjudgment,
Oh.
and you see him do it, and then from some angle you're like, oh, that looks possible, but then you see the other, you're like, oh, he was never gonna make it.
Yeah,
He just jumps on the concrete.
And it's just like heels shattering.
Oh, I hate watching that too.
It's not fun.
No.
I don't like watching those videos of people getting hurt.
No, I don't either.
But I like will watch it, but I'll not enjoy it.
It's very cringy.
Dude, yeah. Holy shit. What's the worst? Have you done like, what's the worst show? Any shows come to mind that's like, that was horrible? What a bad experience.
They're not coming to mind, but one of like the fun. So I went to this Worcester.
Or
someone had told me about.
Memorable
This is a
shows.
memory.
Yeah.
Someone told me there was this hot mic in Worcester when I still lived in Boston. And, you know, that's kind of a drive for a mic.
Also an oxymoron. Like a hot mic is like almost impossible.
But dude, it wasn't an exaggeration for once. I get there. I don't know who they were there to see, but like 50 or 60 people show up. So it's a full-on show in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, these are not comedians. They were in a good mood. It was great.
Dude, you know what it is? I love in the winter after the football season ends when you have these people who it's like a punishment. Have you run into this where it's like fantasy football ends and like the loser as a punishment will have to do stand-up for the first time?
No, I've
so
never
they
seen
come
that.
out. Dude, I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
I see
where
the
they
New Year's Eve resolution comics.
Oh, well, dude, the punishment one is great because they bring, like, they're like, oh, you lost fantasy football, so you have to do stand-up. And it's usually like they've never had no intention of ever trying stand-up, but they bring the whole fantasy team, and then they bring, like, friends. So they'll bring, like, 20 people to watch this kid do stand-up for the first time at an open mic. And usually, if you have a good open mic host, they'll put that person last.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, you'll have 30 people who do open mic comedy, and then, like, their buddy will get up and, like, you know, do the jokes. And, dude,
I never heard of that before.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that happened a bunch in Boston.
Really?
It used to happen, like, right around, it would happen, like, at least once a year, twice a year.
That's funny.
Used to love it. So,
Yes.
anyway, interrupt.
So, yeah,
you're in Worcester.
I go there. There's a lot of people. So I'm like, oh, this is great. It's going to be a show. I think I went on before this guy. So anyway, I'm talking to this guy. He's like a local guy, but he does stand up. And I think he's being sarcastic. And everything he's saying, I'm dying laughing. It's all crazy, right? And he's telling me like his buddy's going to do on stage. And I thought he was bullshitting. So I was like rolling laughing. I'm like, this guy's a riot. And he's like, yeah, I do this Chinese impersonation. And he pulled out these like Oriental eye glasses
Oh my god.
that I have never seen. I'm like, I don't know where you got these. I don't
Like
even.
fake glasses.
Yeah, that makes your. Yes, but it's like with like Chinese eyes drawn in on them.
Yeah,
They're like they're specifically for like racial comedy from like the 1920s.
like racist prop comedy.
Yeah, it's like it's a specific race prop, and he has these, and I think this guy's just like he's a funny guy, and he just tells these ridiculous stories to people.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna do it, so he gets on stage.
Stop.
Dude, puts on fake buck teeth, and I go, oh no, right? He starts doing it, and it's even more offensive than I imagined. Like what he's saying, and he's also not aware of it. So no one's laughing. These people are shocked. They're
This
in
is
horror.
a hot show. This is 60 people.
Killer
hot
show.
mic.
Yeah, I think I just had a great set.
Yeah.
He goes on, dude, dead silence. Like they're shocked and just they don't know what's going on. And I'm in the back. There's just one guy laughing. It's me. I'm dying. I'm holding on to this rail, and I'm just screaming, laughing. And this guy, and he has no clue. He did 20, 25 minutes of the most insane Asian, like, it would be like a guy doing blackface and being like extra racist and not knowing. Like he thinks he's killing. And like these people were genuinely, they were like,
horrified.
I can't believe this is going on right now.
Also to shock people in Western Massachusetts, in Boston, in Worcester, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Shock them with your racism has to be wildly racist.
In his defense, he did tell me he also had brain damage, which I thought was a joke. But then afterwards, I'm like, yeah, he definitely has brain damage.
Holy shit.
But he looks pretty much normal.
Dude, what is it about these insane people who just feel... Is it something... Do you ever think that it's something about you? That these insane people feel like they can confide in you?
Them and racists.
Or is it just you are like... Yeah, you just talk to everybody.
No, I'll talk and they'll just open up. But I'll even give cues like when people are telling me racist stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this and I don't agree with it. And they're always just they're like, nah, you're in on this. I'm like, but I'm not. Because it'll be like, like an old Italian grandmas.
Yeah.
The stuff they say, they don't even put out any, they just bang. Talking about.
I was just talking about Luke. Did you see there was like, there was a story of this woman, this like old rich white woman. I was just talking about this with Luke yesterday. Old rich white woman in like Georgia, maybe somewhere down south, and there was a viral video of her. There were these like two like black women who were like filming her in a restaurant or whatever. She probably like one of those. I hate those videos now too. Of like we're gonna get like gotcha videos. Like look at what a bad person you are. I hate those. Both sides. Like the person in the video is never good, and the people filming are always like, just like, oh, look how much better than you are. I am, whatever. So, dude, this like old kind of wealthy white lady calls both of these women, was like, leave me alone, leave me alone. I didn't see the video, but like, get out of here, and then straight up calls them the N-word, like both of them to their faces. And she got like went viral. She was getting all this hate, and she like agrees to do an interview about like this video, and they were like, well, like, do you understand that like this is it's a very hateful word like to say to someone? And she literally goes, yeah, that's why I said it.
Oh, that's kind of funny though.
She goes, and then she she doubled down. She was like, it is like, yeah, they were bothering me, and that's why I said I wanted to hurt them with it. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, it is what it is.
You gotta love, an old person, and they're just like, whatever.
Yeah, they've earned it. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but what do they care at that point?
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of bad. I feel like all the shows I did for the first 4 or 5 years, and I didn't do a lot of shows.
Yeah.
They were almost all bad.
Yeah.
But not bad in a funny way. Bad like low attended, poorly ran. You get there, you're just, the vibe is depressing.
Dude, I did an open mic the other night, and there was almost a fight. I talked about this on my solo pod, but dude, there was almost a fight, legit. I'm sitting there. And, dude, it was one of those ones, from the beginning, it was bad. I walked in, and there's 5 of us there. It's 5 people in the bar, all of them comics. So I'm like, let's just do our set and get out of here. Like, let's do 3 to 5 minutes, leave. We'll be out of here. Supposed to start at 8 o'clock, dude. 8:35, we still haven't started. Because these 4 comics are just, like, bullshitting about how much this mic is going to be bad. I'm like, let's just start. And I don't know anybody in the scene yet. I don't really know that many people. So I'm not going to say anything like, hey, guys, are we getting going? Like, can we just do this? Dude, we go up. The host opens. He does 15 minutes for 4 of us.
Nobody.
Dude, it's 4 comics in here. He's like riffing. I'm like, what are you doing? I was furious. I was so angry. I'm like, well, he keeps like being like, oh, isn't this so, yeah, there's no one here. I'm not doing material. I'm like, dude, then get off the stage. What do you mean? So literally first 3 comics go up. I'm the last one there. I was the last one to show up, so I'm last on the list. All 3 of them bomb, but like, whatever. It's not expecting to do well. So, but the worst part is the host is doing time between every single comic. So he opens with 15 minutes, and then he's doing 7 minutes between every comic. Dude, he did. I swear to God, by the end of the night, he did 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So then right before I'm about to go up, these 3 guys walk in who are like younger. They've been drinking, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, they sit down. So it was 1 comic and then me. So, like, they're talking a little bit, but, like, dude, they're paying attention. They're cool. They're not being rude, whatever. And then one of the things I hate, a comic walks in, like, right before the mic's about to end, and he's getting on stage. So I'm like, what the like, right before I go up. So I hate that shit. Especially if there's no one there. So, like, now this mic that should have gotten out we should have been done at 8:30. It's now like 9:30. It's like an hour and a half later. So, dude, this guy gets on stage and he starts talking shit. Like, I had a good set with these guys. I was just, like, playing with them, having fun, telling some jokes, and, like, they were having, like, good time, whatever. As good as it could have went, right? So, dude, this guy gets on stage, last comic up. He's been there for 2 comics, me and this other guy, and starts talking shit, like going after these 3 guys who walked in. And he's like, oh, you guys, what's up? Oh, just a bunch of drunk guys ruining the show, ruining comedy. I was like, buddy, it was ruined from the start.
Right?
Like,
First of all,
this experience, it's a Friday night. This experience has been horrible from the beginning, okay? So, dude, he goes up and he starts shitting on him. Dude, this kid, he's probably like 22. This kid stands up and he was like, what are you talking about? We're just having a good time. He's wasted. And the comic's going at him. He's like, oh, you guys ruining everything, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts making fun of the other kid's pants. And he's like, you with your like sweatpants that look like jeans, some shit. And fucking the kid stands up and he goes, hey, why don't you just get off the stage? There's no coming back from that, dude. Yeah, right? So tough. Then the kid's like, oh yeah, no, the comic, oh yeah, well fuck you. And the kid goes, that guy was funny, points at me, and that guy was funny, points at the host, and he goes, you stink. And then the comic says some other shit, and he goes, honestly, dude, if you want me and you, because then he's like, dude, I don't know why you're coming at us. Like, we've just been having a good time. He's like, no, you guys are drunk. And after going back and forth, finally the kid's like, dude, honestly, if you want to step outside, me and my 2 buddies will just beat the shit out of you. And then the host stands up and he's like, well, okay, fellas, like, we don't want to do that. Dude, I mean, this is the last night. I'm sitting in between. Like, they're literally talking over my head. I'm sitting at the bar and I'm just like, this is wild. I'm dying. I'm like dying laughing.
Oh, that's so good.
It was so funny. And then the kid, like, after this fight is calmed down, the kid tried to, like, tell another joke, and literally the guy goes, dude, get off the stage.
Oh,
dude,
man.
And then he just, like, he got off the stage. It was horrible, dude. It was also the comic's fault. It wasn't these kids' fault. It was the comic's fault. He just shouldn't have went at them. It was stupid. It's real fucking dumb.
Yeah, talking to that actually reminded me of another terrible show I did. A lot of these shows were like, I drive to like New Hampshire or up, that area.
Yeah, going on tour.
So we're doing one of those shows. A lot of all Boston heads there. A lot of comics, not a lot of audience, but there is a couple audience members. These
doesn't that perfectly describe everything in outside of city in Boston?
Yeah. So like these 2
a lot of comics, not a lot of audience members.
2 bikers come in, like, like a lot of times the new thing is like, yeah, they're bikers and they're really actually like kind of nice guys. Yeah. That's like everyone's thing. Yeah. They're like, oh no, these were like the real bikers. They were scum. They were like dealing speed, beating women, just total
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, but the real life version. So not cool and dirt bags, and they're sitting with their back to the show, like talking shit about the show.
Yeah.
And people are taking it to heart, and they're not doing well. And I did pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I got them to laugh, but I got the other people in that because they're just uncomfortable. They were scared. Like the rest of the audience was scared. And then this other big like dude comes in, and he starts like ordering drinks, and he's like talking to the comics, and he's like kind of harassing comics. And he's like a pretend like Italian mob guy. So then those guys, he starts trying to buddy up with them.
Yeah.
And he like orders them a drink, and they like get the drink. They're like, "What the fuck is this? I don't drink this shit." And like he's like, "Hey, I'm just trying to," and they're like, he's a fake mob guy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm from blah blah blah," and they're like, "Dude, you're not one of them.
I'm from Providence."
And he's like, "You ain't real."
I wonder if he also had involvement in killing JFK.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
And I just remember like those guys were fighting in these other comics, and it was the worst vibe. It was like someone's parents, like someone's dad beating their mom, right? That vibe in the room. And then comics were getting on stage and trying to do their bits. I'm like, dude, without addressing it, So that's going on. They're threatening him. He's threatening them. He's pretending he's in the mob.
Holy shit!
Oh, it was so bad, and I enjoyed it because I think I got off before it got too bad. And plus, I have a look like all of them will kind of gang on me. Like that'll like bring them together.
Yeah.
The biker guys are like, "Hey, it's past your bedtime." You know what vagina is? They always they always think you're gonna help you out by like showing you how to like get women pregnant outside of wedlock.
Yeah. Always the worst. Just the worst comments. I know those.
Their advice in life. It's like those people every piece of advice they give someone is doing something bad.
Yeah.
They're like that. They never have anything positive.
Was that I'm gonna name a show. Was it Panucci's?
I don't think so, man. I don't know what it was, but it was.
Dude, that was the worst show.
It was in like a strip mall. It was like a restaurant in the strip mall area.
Oh, okay. Dude, I was with Luke and Gatlin. This was the worst like show. It was a show, but it was a mic. It was like in New Hampshire somewhere. It was like Panucci's. It was called. Dude, we showed up and it was like there was no one there. And everybody who was sitting at the bar had their backs towards us. And the guy literally goes, the guy who booked, I don't even remember his name. He was like, "Yeah, these are regulars. Don't even try to talk to them. Just like do your jokes and get off the stage."
Isn't that a crazy thing though? Because they say that with
like
no one in the
room.
Yeah, to an empty. They're like, just do your bits for nobody.
I was like, literally, there's like 10 people. They all have their backs towards us, and we're just like telling jokes at their backs. Dude, it was horrible.
This is another story. One we did in Lynn. First
God.
of all, it starts out I'm in Lynn.
Oh,
It's this story goes exactly where you think it would go.
It's where you don't want to be.
So I'm not going to name the comic, but he's a Boston comic. And he'd be like a guy at the studio where, he just gets a standing O for like his racial mix right off the top. And he comes and this is a rough crowd. But they're listening.
Yeah.
So they want to hear some wild stuff. And he's just doing his standard, sticking to his guns, which is not going to work there.
No.
And they start heckling him, and he starts like going at him. And I'm looking at this crowd. I'm like, dude, this kid doesn't know who he's like. These people don't care.
These guys have knives, guns, and drugs on them.
Yeah, someone's like, "You suck," and he goes and he says something back, and he's not doing well with his comebacks. And then the lady's like, "No, if you don't stop talking, I'm gonna stab you." And he still didn't get it. And I was like, he doesn't understand. Dude, she's serious. She had a knife on her.
In Lynn, they're serious.
Yeah,
in Cambridge, that's just like an empty threat.
Yeah,
but
and
I
was back in the days, that was what made shows like good to me. I'm like, oh, something happened tonight that was funny. Because other than that, it would have just been one of these
opposite of a good show.
Horrible shows.
Holy shit.
A couple had been dating. One of those couples they're dating for like 20 years. It's like, dude, you might just get married. Right?
I don't want to commit. Yeah. I can't commit.
They're both too wrecked for anyone else,
Just, oh, God. Yeah. At least they're happy, though.
I wouldn't say that.
It's existing.
Yeah.
Just existing.
They're there. I'd say at least they're there.
They're
there.
just there. They're there.
They're alive.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So those were the bad.
Oh, God. 35 minutes.
Yeah,
not bad.
That's pretty good.
You want to wrap it there?
Yeah, let's wrap it unless you got something.
No, I'm good.
All right, let's wrap it on up.
All right, you want to give your...
All right, yeah. So you can catch me on Instagram, Mike T. Kerrigan, and just hit me up on Instagram for free tickets to any of my shows.
Yeah. Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and See Ottertown Hall, the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, out every Thursday. And that's it.
Yep. Like and subscribe.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Later.